What's going on? Welcome back to Daily Football Zone. I'm your host, Kev. I'm here with my friends Kevin and Nahum. Kevin, you're new to the podcast. Nahum, I know you've been on, a lot of episodes going back to when we're more active and, we took a break again and then now we're back. But Kevin, I'll let you introduce yourself before we get going. I'll let you introduce yourself. How you doing? You're muted. I don't know if you can hear me, though. But Nahum, how you doing? We'll get that figured out.
Hey, I'm good. It sucks that the season is over, but it's crazy. The combine is it's this week. It's next week. It's so damn soon. So this is NFL year round. So I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to text him right now, see if he got his shit together. You hear us now?
Yeah, it's all good.
I know that's all that happens, man. So, like I was saying, I don't know if you heard anything we were talking about.
Not a word.
And I was like, I don't think he hears me, but we'll roll with it. But you're new to the podcast. I just said let you introduce yourself real quick.
Name's Kev. Lifelong friends with Caleb for a while. Nahum, still first couple times meet him, but hopefully we'll be friends for years to come.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I said in previous episodes that I dropped earlier this week, I'm planning on doing, well, all of us, if it's on certain days, have certain people on certain days. And, obviously people got lives and they're busy. So whenever people can come on, but just planning on making more podcast content, more, just, be able to talk football. Obviously, we could talk football for days. Obviously, try to fit 60 minutes worth of long conversations in one video. But yeah, just, more video content, more social media content. Change the brand up, change the logo. Everything's kind of different, but I've been good at staying consistent during this time of year. And then when the season actually starts, I tend to fall off of us posting content. So trying to stay committed and consistent with our work. But enough of our intro. We can get into what we got planned for tonight. For everyone that's gonna be watching this, it will be Thursday, released at 8 a.m. So thanks for everyone that's going to tune in. But we can get to our first topic of the night, and that is the 2023 Hall of Fame game. If y'all weren't aware, because to be honest, I was busy Tuesday. I didn't even see it. I dropped a whole video yesterday and didn't even talk about it because I didn't even realize it was announced. But that's between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns on August 3rd. I'll let you start off, Kevin, man. How you feel about this year's Hall of Fame game?
Kind of looking forward to it because I feel like the Jets are going to make some moves in the offseason. Hopefully Lamar lands there. So I'm excited to see that.
Or it might be your favorite quarterback, Derek Carr.
It could be one or two. I mean, they just need a guy at this point, just someone to plug in there.
Man, whoever the starting quarterback's going to be, I'm sure won't play this game because usually the starters don't. But football's back in 155 days, so I'm sure anyone would just, even if it's a bunch of third string players playing, I'm sure people are going to tune in for at least a little bit of it. How about you, Nahum? How you feeling about this matchup? Last year we had Jacksonville versus Las Vegas. This year is now the Jets versus the Browns.
Same as Kev. I'm only thing I'm looking forward to is seeing who's going to be playing quarterback for the Jets. Hopefully Zach Wilson is out, and if they have some type of competition going on next year, maybe we'll get to see the guys in the competition get some reps during the Hall of Fame game. But besides that, I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to play for the Browns. No. I don't think any of the heavy hitters, Nick Chubb.
You might see Zach Wilson if they do get someone like Lamar or Derek
Zach
Carr
Wilson got to go if they get Lamar. I mean, if they get any type of, regardless, I think Zach Wilson got to go.
I don't know who would take a flyer on him at this point. He might just have to settle as being a backup.
Y'all could give up. I can see the team giving up a low round pick.
Yeah, or just then there could be training camp injuries and stuff like that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Especially who they draft as well. I know the Browns don't got a first round pick. Do the Jets? I'm trying to remember what overall pick they have.
I think they do.
I don't think either of them have a first round pick. I'm trying to think of either or. It's gonna be a bunch of backups playing, and 155 days away from today. We're just gonna be excited to watch the football, even if it's the first half or even a couple quarters. Just to get some taste of football is always a good thing, especially when you go from February all the way to August with no football, unless you're watching the XFL or the USFL. But
it's a long time. Yeah.
It's XFL and USFL ain't nothing like the NFL, and I mean, this is always a good time of year for the NFL when it comes to March, April, because you got the free agency and the draft. But other than that, once you pass that, it's kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
you get some signings then and there when it comes to like players that hold out on signing. But like other than that, the big splash comes like in the first week or two with free agency, and then you got the whole draft coming up in April. Mind me for my cough, though. I'm sick and I work outside, so it's been bad weather out here in SoCal. But yeah, that's pretty much all we can talk about for the Hall of Fame game. As we get closer, I'm sure we're going to make more content when it comes to that. When you see who ends up in New York and in Cleveland when it comes to rookies or free agent signings. But speaking of quarterbacks, though, I wanted to play a little game with y'all, and it's where will these QBs land in 2023? I'm gonna put a quarterback on the screen. Kevin, since you're the new guest, I'll let you start off. I'll let you start off the first one. But yeah, pretty much I'm gonna put a quarterback on the screen. Kevin, you'll have the first input name, and we can have the input after, and then I'll fill in at the end. Where you think it can be a new home, it can be the same place, depending on who the quarterback is. So, who you think? So the first one we got is your boy Kevin, who's a longtime Chicago Bears fan. For the ones that don't know, it's your boy Aaron Rodgers. Is he leaving your division or is he staying put?
I think he's done. He's gone years without help. He's been asking for help. They won't give it to him.
When you say he's done, you think done in Green Bay or done playing? Because there's also the speculation he done playing too. So what do you think?
I don't know. I'm kind of like 65% that he will play, 35% that he'll retire. But I think he's out of Green Bay for sure, though. Like if he retires or if he goes to another team. But I could see him in definitely probably Oakland or maybe somewhere in California, because I know he's a California guy. So I would say probably Oakland.
Oakland.
They have the money too, so if he wants to do like
Las Vegas
year by year. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I forget. Yeah. I can see him in Vegas. I think they have like the third most cap space. So somehow they do, especially with releasing Derek Carr. So I can see him ending up there. Reuniting with Devontae.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. How about you, Nahum? I know you're a Charger fan. So speaking of rivals, do you think he goes to Las Vegas or stays put, retires? I know he was on his little retreat. So what do you think?
Oh man, Rodgers. I would like to see him in Oakland. I don't think he's ready for all that. I don't think he's ready to play Mahomes, Herbert, and Sean Payton. Not to say Russell Wilson. You don't see Sean Payton. I don't think he wants to be in the AFC West, but I think it'd be good for him playing in Oakland with Josh McDaniels. I think that'd be good for him. But I think either he stays in the Packers or he retires. Because if he was gonna leave, he would have done it last year. I think he proved that he wants the money more than he wants to win or succeed and all that. He's fine. He took $50 million over. He could have left. He could have played with the Broncos. He could have went to another team when Devontae left, but he wanted to stay. He got the bag, and he's going to a little retreat to a dark room. He's going to come back, and I just feel he's going to retire or stay with the Packers. I would love to see him go to just as far as a team fit, Washington, but the ownership it's in shambles right now. The owner's selling the team. They don't know who's going to buy it, and it's a shitty stadium. So I don't think Rodgers would go there. But I just like the team fit. I hope he goes to the Raiders. It'd make for a fun season.
Yeah,
I don't think he will.
I think, man, if he did go to the AFC West with Vegas, it's gonna be just like last year. Everyone was hyping up the AFC West, and the Chiefs took it all again. So, I could see him playing with Adams again in Las Vegas. It's up to Las Vegas, Josh McDaniels and the whole front office to make that move. They already have connections with Green Bay trading, the first round picks and the second round pick as well, and some other picks for Devontae Adams. So I'm sure they can work another package for Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers wants out. The Raiders have the 7th overall pick, so you're working with what, 7th and 15th? If I was the GM in Green Bay, that's kind of intriguing. You got 2 top 15 picks that you can work with. One of them could be a tight end, probably around 15. You can go with Kincaid, or if it's Mayer, whoever whoever's your number 1 tight end, go someone maybe mid round, or even trade back to get some more picks into like the later first with that 15th overall pick, and then draft a need at 7. But Yeah, I can see Rodgers going to Las Vegas Raiders. I like the fit that you said with Washington, but yeah, I know he's gonna want a lot of say in the front office with Rodgers, and that whole their whole situation is kind of a shit show. So I think the fit would be nice, especially if they got some young talent at receiver there. But I don't think it's likely though. But we can get into the next quarterback, and Nahum, I'll let you start off with this one, and that's your boy Jimmy Garoppolo. Where will he land in 2023?
Maybe the Jets. The Jets. They got a lot of quarterbacks that they could have take down there or take up there. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go with I think the Jets. I'm gonna roll with the Jets for now. Just because Salah's there, Salah worked with him. The Niners, he knows what he could do. But I feel like he also knows that there's a limit to where Jimmy G could take you as a team. And like no team is going to be more stacked or it's harder for a team to be more stacked than that 2019 Niners team was. And the Jets team is good, but it's not quite as good as the 19 Niners. So, yeah, I still think Jimmy G could take them into the playoffs. So I'll just roll with the Jets for now.
Okay. How about you, Kev? Man, who you rolling with? What team you think going?
I
Take
can
the
see I can see the Jets because of the Robert Saleh connection, but I think they kind of want to win now because I hear a lot about Lamar going there or even Derek Carr, and I think they're significantly better than Jimmy G. I mean, like you said, Jimmy G can only get you so far. Like 2019, like I thought they were gonna win it all. Even 2 years ago, I thought the 49ers would win it all, but Jimmy G can only do so much. So I think another fit for him would probably be like New Orleans. I think they have a lot of weapons. I feel like he's the type of quarterback he needs a lot of weapons around him. You can't really build the offense around him. So I could see him in New Orleans, and then like you said, I think it was yesterday's show, Caleb. You were saying about you could see Fournette down there too. Add him to that. I think that'd be good. Jarvis Landry. I don't know what Michael Thomas is gonna do, but if he's still there, I think that'd be a good fit for him. Because I think he's a bridge guy, kind of. He's not really like
he's a bridge guy.
He can't really get you to where you need to go.
I know we're speaking about his connections with Robert Saleh in New York. I know we just spoke on this team too, but say if they don't go after Green Bay, if they don't go after Rodgers or Rodgers decide to retire, I could see him also going back to into John McDaniel's system and reuniting with John McDaniels, who the Patriots drafted him. So I wouldn't surprise if he ends up going, linking back with him in Vegas as well. Like I think that could be another connection as well. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm sure they got Lance. They're high on Purdy. I don't think Jimmy G's gonna stay another year. He ended up playing anyway for a little bit until he got hurt once again. So yeah, I don't see him staying in San Francisco for another year. He's gonna get somewhere out of there. If it's New York, New Orleans, Las Vegas. But yeah, speaking of Las Vegas, though, our next quarterback we're going to talk about is Derek Carr, and he's been all in the news right now, meeting with teams like Carolina and New Orleans and New York. Meeting with teams in Indianapolis during the combine. So, Nahum went first last time. Kevin, where do you think Derek Carr is going?
I have no idea, honestly. I don't think he's going to start next year. I mean, he has the ability to, but I don't know. I feel like
he's asking for $35 million, so he better be starting if he's getting that. If he does end up getting that pay, which I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get it. I could maybe again the Jets. I mean, I feel like the Jets they just can use anybody really. They're just a quarterback away from contending, I think. So I would say
they started off hot too, and then fell down. So man, obviously the quarterback play wasn't good. So bringing in somebody like Carr, would definitely be helpful.
I would say the Jets, and then you got Washington, and then you also got Atlanta. But I'd probably lean more towards the Jets, if anything.
Okay. How about you, Nahum? Who you rolling with?
See, I was hesitant to say the Jets with Garoppolo because I like the Jets to take Derek Carr or the Commanders to take Derek Carr. The thing about Derek Carr and these two East Coast teams is that they probably don't get to see Derek Carr play too much, so they don't know how ass he really is. I mean, they're probably going to watch film and all that, and they'll be like, okay, there's some stuff we can work with, and we can improve. Nah. Derek Carr is he's I think his ceiling is 10-7. What is it? 10-7? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the ceiling. So I think one of these East Coast teams are going to take him, and we can do something with him, and then they'll find out after a couple years. Oh, we messed up. So Washington or New York?
I know my Panthers are interested in him. I'd preferably rather draft a quarterback than go another year getting a used quarterback. And I hope Dave Tepper and our GM Scott Fitterer has learned from our mistakes. That it's been 3 straight years of used quarterbacks between Bridgewater, Darnold, and Mayfield. And plus Frank Reich is one reason why he went out of Indy is because of having a new quarterback every year. So I hope he doesn't make that same mistake in Carolina as well. So I'm hoping we just draft a young guy, either trade up or if someone lands in our lap at 19, that'd be cool. But I'd say he's not a cold weather type of guy. That's where I feel like he wouldn't want to go to New York. I would like to say Indy due to the fact that they're in a dome, but I don't even know if same thing. They're in the same situation like us. Like they don't think they'd want to go after another used quarterback. But it's interesting. Something about it makes me feel like we might just do it and sign him. But a team like New Orleans also could be a fit.
Hey, what if though the Panthers sign Derek Carr and then draft a quarterback also? And then use Derek Carr as a bridge, because you still got Corral from last year. You still got Corral.
True. But the only thing is, if he's seeking $35 million,
oh, that's true.
I know we're not paying $35 million a year. We're not going to pay him to be a bridge, and we don't even think we have that money to give him, to be honest. So, that's why I kind of think we're not going to lean towards doing it. I think a team like New Orleans might be the team to pull the trigger due to their quarterback play being horrendous. But
people with like Derek Carr. And Jimmy G, I don't know how much Jimmy G is asking for, but Derek Carr asking for 35.
I don't think he's gonna get it.
Let's say he doesn't sign now, because no team's gonna meet his price, and then after the draft he gets signed. Do you think his price will go down lower? I think maybe like in the 20s, 15 to 20s.
Yeah, I'm sure if no one's if he doesn't get signed before the draft, I'm sure he's gonna have to take whatever teams are gonna give him, because at that point, teams are already making up their decision at quarterback. So at that point, it's kind of like the same thing with Mayfield, where it took all the way to like 2 weeks before training camp to finally have us strike a deal, because obviously all the other markets, either Seattle or whoever else was involved, weren't interested anymore. So it's like at that point, you just got to do with what you got. Either it's a different when trading and signing, but I think at that point, I don't think a team would give him $35 million a year. Especially after the draft and free agents, after the draft, I don't see anyone giving him that much. But you never know. I didn't think Deshaun Watson was going to get $250 million guaranteed after his accusations. So who knows?
And there's about like 5 quarterbacks in the draft too. So
yeah,
that could be day one starters. So
yes, I don't. Yeah, we'll see what team decides to do it. I can see New Orleans due to the fact they play in the dome half the year. And him not being a cold weather type of quarterback, I could see that. That's why I'm kind of like hesitant with New York. Like, is he really going to play in New York where it snows out there and it's cold out there? I don't know. But we can get into the next quarterback, and that is recently released Marcus Mariota. Nahum, where do you think the former Oregon Duck goes? Is he do you think he signs with a team, or is it done for his career, or how you feel about Marcus Mariota?
I think he's back to backup duties.
Yeah, sure.
I think is Bridgewater still in Miami?
No, I think he's a free agent as well.
Okay, well, I would like Marcus to go back up Tua, but I can't think of another team. Maybe if the Eagles let go of
Minshew,
because he's a free agent, Marcus could come through to Philly. I know Philly likes to have 2 good quarterbacks,
or even back in Seattle or something.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Seattle, Geno Smith's, I believe, up for contract too. So
yeah, Seahawks would be dumb to let him go, though. That'd be pretty dumb on them to let him go.
Yeah, I think he'll run it back in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they can still, if they want to bring Mariota as his backup, as a
don't they still have Drew Lock as the backup?
Oh yeah, never mind. I totally forgot about that.
Everyone forgot about him. Don't worry.
Yeah, Kevin, what do you think about the former Oregon Duck Heisman winner?
So I promise you, this is not biased, but I think he could be a backup in Chicago. I think he'd be a good mentor for Justin Fields. They kind of have the same playing style. Put their head down, run. Marcus Mariota's not the greatest passer, but I mean, I Fields has a much higher ceiling. But I think I can see him in Chicago as a backup.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a good
I like
fit,
that.
you know, same type of quarterback, you know.
And if he gets hurt, you don't got to change too much. You can still do those running plays.
Yeah,
Just
and
post him
he'd
right
be
in.
a veteran presence, you know, mentor in that locker room, that quarterback room. I can see that being a good fit for him as well.
Because I think our backup is Nathan Peterman, so
yeah, you can get rid of Nathan Peterman.
I think he's due too. His contract's up, so
yeah. So yeah, I think Chicago would be a good fit. I think that's that'd be a good fit for him. But we can get into the next quarterback, and that is recently released Carson Wentz. Kevin, where does the former Philadelphia Eagle, Colt, and Commander go?
I think he gets signed only if someone gets hurt. Really, I don't think he's gonna get signed. He's proven he can't do it. I mean, he had his great season in 2017, I think.
Yeah,
season, and then ever since then, he's just been all downhill. I mean, Indianapolis was a disaster. This was bad. It's like you only get so many chances, but then again, he's a quarterback, and he's a veteran, so maybe be a backup somewhere. Maybe I don't know, Green Bay maybe if Aaron Rodgers leaves, because Jordan Love, I don't think he's gonna struggle, of course, because he's just now getting his couple reps in. But I don't think he signed anywhere unless it's really a need to sign basis. So I don't think he'll get signed this offseason.
I can see that. How about you, Nahum? Do you think he lands somewhere, or he's gonna stay a free agent? What are your thoughts?
The only place he's going to land is on the couch until another quarterback gets hurt.
I agree. I agree with both of y'all with that. And he's been known to being a locker room issue, not a leader, not a locker room type of guy that the team meshed with. We heard those stories about him. So at this point, I can't really think of a team that would want to bring in a quarterback like Carson Wentz when you got the draft, you got a couple key veterans like Derek Carr and Mariota's now available. A couple quarterbacks are up for trade. If you really want a guy to be your guy or even a backup, there's other options, I think, than Carson Wentz, who has those character issues when it comes to being a leader, and being injured prone, and obviously not playing as good as he was expected to be, being the second overall pick in 2016. So
I think it goes back to him being at North Dakota too. I mean, he never really played anyone good in college, so I feel like it kind of translated to the league. Like he wasn't. I think he got over scouted, if anything. I don't think he was worth that second pick.
Okay,
talent wise,
it's a valid point.
Well, I think because in 2017, I mean, I thought he was like, oh, this is the guy that everyone thought he was going to be coming out the draft.
Yeah,
he looked good, and then it's like all the other years after, oh, this is
ever since he got hurt,
and he really is like this
spiraled downhill ever since, and then
this is like what the doubters thought he was going to look like. So I don't know, it's weird. I think there's like it's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde, but 1 year Jekyll, the rest Hyde. He's a weird one. He's a weird one.
Going back to the reports that he was upset that Nick Foles led him to a Super Bowl, and he was upset that it wasn't him, and going back to that type of rumors that spreaded, like it doesn't look like a guy that a team would want to bring into their quarterback room. Obviously, he's not a good leader. Why would you want to use him as a mentor when he obviously wouldn't be good at that? But we can get into the next quarterback that we're going to talk about, and that is, I don't want to say my boy, but Sam Darnold. Nahum, where's the former Trojan play in 2023?
I think he's going. I want him to stay in Carolina, but no Steve Wilkes. I feel like Steve Wilkes is the only person who believed in him. So, backup duties.
I'll tell you this. I already say my input. I think we're going to keep him due to the fact that our quarterback coach is now Josh McCown, who is familiar with Sam Darnold. He did all right at the end of the year, He did all right to end the year. You know, he had the one bad game against Tampa Bay, the second game that we played against them. But other than that, he was limited on the mistakes. He did what he needed to do to try to make a run and win the division. Obviously, we fell short, but with Josh McCown being our quarterbacks coach, I could see them bringing him back to be a bridge guy. And then if we draft somebody at 9, if it's like Anthony Richardson that falls in our lap, I can see him being a bridge guy until Richardson develops. So I'll get mine out of the way. I think he'll resign in Carolina.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm gonna say Carolina. I like what they did with him last year. They used his legs more. He was running around more. I mean, he looks more comfortable when he can use his legs. So, yeah, he looked the best I've seen him in his career in Carolina.
Okay. How about you, Kev?
Yeah, I think he should just stay in Carolina. It'd be best bet. I mean,
Yeah,
I've already been in the system for a little bit, so
yeah.
I don't know if you guys are rebuilding and what you guys are going through, but I think he's the best bet there. If you guys don't draft somebody.
And I know, Wilkes is gone, but yeah, due to Josh McCown being our quarterbacks coach and him playing alongside him in New York, I can see him vouching to keep him, especially how the year ended. He did all right, so it wasn't as bad, obviously. So I could see him having being that bridge guy if we get someone like Anthony Richardson and obviously Richardson he can use some developing. If you want to use Darnold for half the year or even if haven't battled out in training camp. I could see that being a possibility. But speaking of Carolina and a former Carolina quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Kevin, where do you think the former number 1 overall pick goes to?
I think he should stay in LA, honestly, because Matthew Stafford's getting older. I mean, he was injured this year. I feel like he's injury prone, so I feel like best bet would be for him to stay in LA. I feel like there's not a lot of. I mean, there always is room for quarterbacks, but I feel like if you've been in the system for a while, just stay there. And especially with the young talent coming up, like there's 5-6 quarterbacks in this draft. Like there's not a lot of space to be moving around, especially when he didn't build anything, but he can piggyback off of what he did this past year. And if Stafford goes down, he can get a chance to go back in and win the job, maybe.
Okay. How about you, Nahum? Where does Mr. Mayfield, where does he land in 2020?
So I think Baker's case is interesting because Kev, you said a good point. There's a lot of young talent coming up right now. We got 5 quarterbacks in the draft, but then also we've been having this for like a while now. Like I can't even count, at least like 7-6 years where there's young quarterback talent that's coming up every year at the draft, every year at the draft, and then now it's to a point where. We have like our 6-7 elite quarterbacks, 5 if you want to say 5, but there's like 15 easily starter quality quarterbacks, and then after that you kind of have your kind of so-so quarterbacks, but it's like I don't know. It's Baker 10 years ago. I feel like Baker could have found another team to start with, right? 10 years ago, but now with all the young talent that's coming up and the talent that we already have. It's kind of hard to find a starting spot in the league, so I think he should stay in LA. Just keep working with Sean McVay, keep improving his game. Matthew Stafford, he had an elbow injury with his nerve, some sensitive issue. So
we'll see how you.
Who knows if he's going to be 100% for the rest of his career? And then on top of that, a lot of other coaches and a lot of other teams in the league have Sean McVay system. So if a quarterback on those teams happen to get hurt. Who knows? They could trade for Baker Mayfield mid-season next year. So I think he should stay in LA.
Valid points. I think the same. At this point, I think he needs to be real with himself, and realize that being a starter is not likely, especially going into this year. He had that chance in Carolina. Obviously, that didn't work out. So yeah, we'll get into the last quarterback I wanted to bring up, and that is quarterback Lamar Jackson. Does he stay in Baltimore? Does Baltimore give him that contract he wants, or does he find his way out? Nahum, I'll let you go with this one.
This is tough. It's tough, in my opinion. This is the NFL versus Lamar. Lamar wants the guaranteed money. If the Ravens give him that guaranteed money, it's gonna change the league. I think it will change the league. It will cause like a the beginning of a power shift. And
Guys like Herbert and Burrow, they coming up.
yeah, the Herbert and Burrow could ask for if Lamar gets that guaranteed money, then Herbert and Burrow have almost every right to get that guaranteed money as well. But I think right now the last offer they gave to Lamar was 133 guaranteed, which would be the second most guaranteed money ever, only second to Deshaun Watson. So I'm hoping it's going to be the Ravens. I would love to see him in Washington with Eric Bieniemy. If I think so, the Washington owner Jeff Snyder, he wants to sell them. I know Jeff Bezos sent a team of people to go look into buying the Commanders, and Jeff Snyder already said no to Jeff Bezos. But if Bezos were to go ahead and buy the Commanders, then I would say hell yeah, Lamar to Washington. Jeff Bezos would give him the guaranteed money, but that's not gonna happen. I don't think Lamar will go to Washington and be with the enemy. I think he's gonna stay in Baltimore.
Okay, how about you, Kevin? Where's the former MVP end up at?
I feel like he's just been disrespected this whole time because he's one of the youngest people to win the MVP. He has I think he's won 75% of his games, but you have dudes like Justin Herbert, all these other dudes. I mean, Deshaun Watson didn't win because he was in Houston, but I mean, he got all that money for nothing, basically. No wins, no anything. So I think he deserves all the money.
20+ accusations.
Yeah, I think he deserves whatever he wants. 40+ million, he deserves it. But I think Baltimore was clear. They gave Roquan Smith $100 million as a linebacker, so I don't think they have plans to move on with Lamar. So I think Lamar on either the Jets or I would say Atlanta. And Atlanta has the second most cap space, so they can throw him whatever he wants, really. So those are two places I would say are best for him. And he deserves it. I mean,
yeah, I like Atlanta.
He's honestly a top 5 quarterback in the league, one of a kind.
Well, my Carolina Panthers need a quarterback, and my dream scenario would be that we trade for him. But obviously, I don't think that's gonna happen because, I don't get what I want. Obviously, I'm always let down. But I think that would be I think Carolina would be good for him as well. I think he would improve our offense for sure. Our defense is young. We got some playmakers on defense. We still got playmakers on offense too. That'd be my dream situation. But I feel like he'll end up staying in Baltimore, for sure.
If he does, I feel like he'd sit out for the season because, I mean, he kind of did last year, but I feel like he might as well just do it again. So, but
everyone thought he was coming back from injury, just never came back. In Tyler,
yeah,
your Utah legend himself, Tyler Huntley, made the Pro Bowl because of that.
Right.
So, I don't know how, but he made the Pro Bowl.
And that's I was wondering that too.
They say the fan voting is only 25%, and the rest is by an NFL committee that approves of it. So it's
oh shit!
How the fuck would how would Tyler Huntley get there with only 2 touchdown passes? So I don't know. But yeah, we're speaking about free agency. We can get into our next topic. What teams are the most intriguing this free agency? And Kevin, I'll let you start on this one.
I mean, it should be self-explanatory. Bear down. We got the most money. We need the most though. So I mean, I feel like
got a lot of holes.
I feel like this offseason is probably one of our most important ever because we have a lot of holes. But I mean, it's a good year for O-line. We can adjust the O-line. I like Mike McGlinchey. D-line. I like Deron Payne. I wanted him to get him, but I heard I think he's gonna stay with Washington.
Yeah, he got the franchise tag.
Yeah, but there's I think Javon Hargrave too from Philly. That'd be a good fit.
That could be a good fit.
I just want us to use all our money if we can. We might as well at this point.
Some star players.
Yeah, we can build, and I feel like we're gonna trade that number 1 pick as well too. So just load up all we can, and you have Justin Fields. He's a rising star. Darnell Mooney. Claypool has to get another year in the system. But we have a lot of holes on defense. I feel like we can address that all in free agency. We have the money, so it's really just up to the Ryan Poles to get it done.
Okay. What about you, Nahum? What are some teams, or what team is the most intriguing to you this free agency?
Yeah, Bears are probably tied for number 1 for me with the Eagles. Yeah, Bears, lots of money. They could trade if they trade back. I know this isn't free agency, but if they trade back, and just accumulate picks. It'd be fun to see what they do in the draft.
You think
So
they get Jalen Carter even after today's news?
we'll see. I mean, let's see how far they trade back. Let's see. I don't think they take him number 1. I hope
I
they
saw
trade back.
I saw something about Will Anderson. He said he had a really good interview with them today. He said he had a good feeling about it, so maybe he goes 1.
Oh, wait, Will Anderson's a beast too. He's a
I mean,
beast.
yeah, like, and especially after free agency, and then when we get closer to the draft, we really don't know who's going number 1. Because you thought Aiden Hutchinson was going to be the clear cut number 1 overall until like a week or 2 before the draft. Trayvon Walker buzz, came up, and everyone was like Trayvon Walker, and then he ended up being the guy. So today, you could say it's going to be trade back, or they might end up taking Jalen Carter at number 1 anyway, or it could be somebody totally different. So yeah, you never really know until we get closer to the draft. But Bears having the most cap. I feel like they're going to be an intriguing team. What pieces they can put around Justin Fields, as long as he can stay healthy. Improve on the defensive side of the ball as well. Other teams like even the Raiders, I'm intrigued to see what they do at quarterback. They got some money to work with as well. I think they still need another receiver. So either they decide to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe use the 7th overall pick on like Quentin Johnson, or even like someone on the defensive side of the ball. I can see them doing that. If it's a cornerback like Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, I can see them doing that in the draft. But I feel like
another edge guy too.
Man, Chandler Jones was kind of he kind of came out later in the year, but man, obviously he for what they got for him, I felt like they're expecting more out of him. We'll see what he does in the second year with Vegas. I mean, you can always use more than 2 edge rushers. A good rotation is always great for a defense. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they do. Other teams like the Texans, you got they signed DeMeco Ryans as head coach. They got the number 2 overall pick and I believe number 12 overall, and then they got money to play with as well to bring in talent on that team. Brandon Cooks is on the trade market, so obviously you can see where he ends up going and what picks to get out of that. They can
also the Giants. The Giants got a interesting free agency. I mean, what are they going to do with Saquon and Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones wants 45 million. I mean, what the? And then Saquon, I think he deserves all the money. Saquon deserves all the money, but I don't know if Giants want to pay 12 to 15 for a guy who finally gave us a full season last season. So
running backs these days you're not going to see. I feel like Christian McCaffrey got the richest contract. I don't think teams are going to give anyone as high as that anymore. I feel like they know that they're just easily replaceable. Obviously, Barkley had a hell of a year, but you still have the injury history. You were healthy last year, but who says you won't get hurt again this year? So obviously that's always going to be a concern. And the running back market, in present day, it shouldn't be as high. It's just never these days. It ain't like running backs are lucky to even get drafted in the first round now. Bijan Robinson might be the only guy. So
they say he's like a generational running back, but
we'll see what New York decides to give Barkley. I don't see Barkley leaving. I think he stays in New York. He's the face.
But you think they pay both him and Daniel Jones?
You won't pay one or the other.
Not Jones. I wouldn't pay Daniel Jones.
I don't think they'll get Barkley crazy money, but I think they'll keep him. But we get to our last.
Go ahead. Also the Cowboys. Let's see what they do with Zeke. If they keep Zeke or Pollard, whichever one they keep. I think best bet would be keeping Pollard. He's younger legs. He's a little bit more versatile than Zeke.
Yeah, now that the season's over, though, everyone's trying to say, "Oh, Zeke, he wasn't fully healthy last year. He was playing injured and this and that." I'm like, well, how do we know the truth? How do we know? I don't know. These reports always come out after the end of the season, and I don't know. I don't know the truth. If he's still got it, he was just hurt last year. Or if he's washed.
Yeah, man.
Pollard
looks like the young star there.
Yeah.
It'll be a good free agency. It's a couple weeks away. It's the 1st of March. The new league year is on the 15th, so I think free agency starts around then. So I can't think of the exact date in my top of my head right now, but it's coming up in a couple weeks. But we can get into our last topic of the night, and that is Jalen Ramsey trade destinations. If he does get traded, where are some teams you think would be interested, and where you think he would be a good fit at? Nahum, I'll let you go first.
Speaking of the Cowboys, I'll take them. Keep in mind this is in no order. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones, this type of order to make a splash. Wouldn't mind sending a low draft pick to go and get Ramsey and pair him. And they already got a good DB group over there in Seattle or in Dallas. But yeah, they run that cover 3-ish scheme. They switched it up a lot now. They got Michael Parsons up there and DeMarcus Lawrence, a good pass rush. Trevon Diggs and Ramsey would be a crazy duo. I think the Giants would be a team. They like to run a lot of man. They got some money. If they don't sign Daniel Jones, maybe they could use some of that to pay Jalen Ramsey. Raiders, kind of interesting just because they have some money, and I know they like to run man coverage. And
Ramsey did say Vegas was in an ideal playing situation back in 2019. Obviously, it's 2023 now, but he did say that.
There we go. And then I think the Bengals, if they want to go all in and try to win a championship this year, they can get rid of Eli Apple, get rid of him, kick him to the curb. And I think Mike Hilton and Awuzie already two solid corner. I know one of them was hurt last year, but bring in Jalen Ramsey, put all the chips in, and try to win one before you either sign Joe Burrow or sign Jamar Chase to a fat contract.
Okay. What about you, Kevin? Where does Jalen Ramsey get traded to? If I'm sure he probably will get traded. What team do you think is gonna snag him?
Yeah, I can see the Raiders probably top of the list, and then probably Bengals too. I feel like Bengals could try to recreate what the Rams did a couple years ago. Sign or trade those for those veterans while they can to try to get that ring, especially for that to pay Jamar and Joe Burrow, because that's going to be a lot of money. So you might as well try to get someone where you can for cheap or just for a year, basically. And I can see the Cowboys too. That'd be like a dream scenario, but I think Cowboys.
What about a team like Buffalo?
Buffalo? Yeah, I can see him with Tre'Davious White too. That'd probably be the best corner tandem in a while that we've seen. But I can see it happening too. Same thing. I feel like Buffalo could try to do the same thing as the Rams too, because Von Miller didn't get to play last year. Really, he got hurt. So, I mean, a full season with Von Miller, Ramsey, Tre'Davious White. Those safeties they got back there, that'd be scary. So
obviously, they're still not. They're trying to contend for the Super Bowl, but still can't get there. So bringing a guy like Ramsey can definitely help their defense out. Yeah, man, the AFC is, Chiefs are. We're speaking on March 1st, 2022. No one thought Chiefs were gonna, win the Super Bowl. Everyone thought they were gonna take a step back. I mean, I don't think Tyreek Hill was traded yet, but especially after the Tyreek Hill news, and then all the AFC West talent that got loaded up with Wilson and Devontae Adams and all that hype, like, Chandler Jones going to Vegas and Herbert being a star. Like, no one thought fucking Chiefs were gonna fucking win the Super Bowl. Everyone thought they were gonna take a step back, but here we are, Super Bowl champions. So, you never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, that's all we got for y'all tonight. You're going to be watching this on Thursday, March 2nd. We recorded this on Wednesday, March 1st. So, yeah. Until next time, Kevin, thank you again for making your Daily Football Zone premiere, your debut.
Yes, sir.
And Nahum, you've been on here for a while. We've been established since 2020. So you've been doing your fair share of videos on here with me. Appreciate, your time every time you can come on. More content on the way, Kevin. I know you're gonna be my Wednesday guy, so if you're, whenever you're free on Wednesdays, we can make content on Wednesdays, Nahum. If you're free on Wednesdays or whatever day you're free, if it's Mondays, we'll have you on whenever. Again, I know I got a mock draft coming up on Monday. I got that in the works, so if not, I could do another one next Wednesday as well. Stay tuned though for everyone that's watching. More content on the way. Free agencies around the corner. We got the combine coming up tomorrow. We got the defensive lineman. So I know, Kevin, you're gonna be tuned into that because obviously it could be Jalen Carter. He's been a big topic, even though he has the whole issue for arrest, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on there, but I know you're still gonna be watching, even if they don't go Jalen Carter and they get somebody on day 2. Like, there's multiple defensive linemen y'all can go with. But until next time, next Wednesday is when I'll see you, Kevin. We'll chop it up then about the combine, and we'll have a combine
Yeah.
video coming up too. So until then, y'all feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you on the next episode.
Yes, sir.